G, A, and B, in the same shape on the high E string, which would be C, D, and E. More sixes. Right there, we'll shift up to the 13th fret by sliding your pinky. And right there, I'll descend in a 6 in the same key. Our shape's going to have to change slightly. We'll have a whole step and a half step instead of 2 whole steps. The notes would be F, E, and D on the high E string, and C, B, and A on the B string. Right there, I slide back down to my original position. So this one sounds like this. That's a tool I use for getting between ascending and descending scales. Let's say I've got that lick that we just learned in C. I'll shift up on the last 6 to the next position and descend in another lick. Let's take that same pattern but in a slightly different shape, which I will show you later. So let's give it a try. Up to tempo so you can hear how it sounds. And it stays, the rhythm keeps pretty much the same. You don't have to worry about kind of floating around rhythmically. It's real good, this kind of thing. It keeps the triplet going. Another real good exercise is doing that same kind of thing, but on larger amounts of strings. You can take 4 strings in a scale. I'm keeping the top 2 notes, or 2 strings, the same. The ones in the middle strings, the notes would be A, B, and C, and D, E, and F. The shape's a whole step and a half step. And the one we just did with 2 whole steps, starting on G. Right there, sliding up to the F note and descending using 4 strings. You already know the notes on the E string and the B string. Let's go to the G and D. The notes would be G, F, E, and D, C, B. And then slide back down to your original position. So let's go through this a couple times. You can hear how it sounds, and we'll do it slow. Again, the rhythm stays real even. You can even tap your foot to it. The thing to watch out for when practicing this, as far as the ups and downs go, when you shift, it's going to be a downstroke. In fact, you may just want to practice that much. And then do the same kind of thing when you descend. Just take those 2 sections, which both end with downstrokes, and also start with upstrokes. And then, after you get those 2 comfortable, put them together. Possibilities are endless. You can use all 6 strings. I'd like to show you some techniques that a little more modern. I refer to them as guitar tricks because they use some pretty unorthodox hand moves. Let's get started with the first one. So pick up your guitar. One of the important things about this, it's a 2-handed lick, so you have to figure out what to do with your pick. I pretty much just whiz mine in the air. You don't need it at all. First of all, it's a pretty wide stretch. Take your left hand, stick your first finger on the A note, 5th fret on the high E string. Take your pinky and put it on the D note, 10th fret of the high string. And because it's a 2-handed lick, you sort of reach up with your right hand, and just reach up and pull a rabbit out of the guitar. So now we have a lot of sequences to practice that have a 3-note per string idea. Let's put those into some 3-note per string scales so we can play them in actual music. I've started off with some major scales. Basically, I've got a C major starting on each step of the scale. The lowest one I can fit in the neck starts on F, sounds like this. Next one starts on G. Next one starts on A. On B. And just keep moving up on the neck, staying within the key, and starting on consecutive scale tones. Let's go over those one more time, a little quicker so you can hear they sound up the tempo. There we go. A few more examples of this. Let's try it. Let's try an exercise that I use a lot for my picking and also for visualizing scales. Starting the A note on the 5th fret of the low E string, and just go straight up in C major or A minor. The shape would be a whole step and a half step, A, B, C, D, E, F, and then do it in octaves. So you start on the A on the D string, and the A on the B string, keeping the same shape every time. On the picking, each section will start out with a downstroke. Down, down, down. Right there, I shifted to the high A on the 17th fret and descend in 6s. So we've done this kind of idea before, but not in octaves. So now we'll go an octave lower to the A on the G string, and another octave lower to the A on the A string. Also those will start with downstrokes. Down, 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 down. And hit the A there and start over with the ascending part. Up to tempo, that'll sound like this. There's a real good rhythm to it, and pretty terrifying with the range. And plus you get to move your left hand around a lot and impress all the neighbors. There's a lot more you can do with 3-note per string scales besides major. I've harmonized a lot of different shapes. The first couple are that same kind of idea where you play them in octaves. So all you have to do is memorize the shape of the first 2 strings, and everything else will just be the same shape an octave higher. It makes these real easy to learn. The first one's a blues scale. Normally when you play the blues scale, it's kind of a pentatonic type shape. Which is cool to phrase with, but it's real hard to play up and down incredibly fast. And the 3-note per string one works great for this. So let's give it a try. The shape, fairly big stretch. We've got a minor third in your 1st and 3rd finger on the low E string, and then a whole step higher with your pinky. Then in the A string, it's kind of a weird shape. It's a half step in 6th position, so you'd be playing E flat, E, and G. And it gives you that, basically just 1 octave of the blues scale in the key of A. Then I take it up an octave, starting on an A note on the D string, do that exact same shape, which gives you the exact same notes. And same idea. Starting on the A note on the B string, you do those same notes. And you can use a lot of the sequences that we've already played and get